a Call of Cthulhu 7th edition scenario written by Danann McAleer in the style of M.R. James. With Joseph Chance as Dr. Henry Carraig-Muire, Dan Wheeler as Reverend Perregrine McCutcheon, Dominic Allen as Lady Helen Marjorie Bjarmia Potts, and Danann McAleer as the Keeper of Arcane Lore. Part 5. Just Not Cricket.
Do you know me, and were you in the Sudan?
No. But you were. And you're still there, aren't you? And I know about your little trip up north as well. And I know what you did there. And you, Reverend, I know what you've done as well.
Oh, yes?
He puts the glass down on the table, and your stick's still, like, out to him. Yeah. And he sort of just moves his jacket back and shows his, like, baton, like his nightstick. He doesn't, like, grab it.
Oh, shit.
And he says, listen, I was trying to be civil. But if we really must... And just stares at you.
I swallow hard.
Now, in the meantime, what do you want to find out whether I've managed to tie his shoelaces together?
I think it's got to be. I mean, like, yeah. I mean, to be fair, he's very distracted by the stick pointed directly at his face. The physical threat is clearly coming straight from Carraig-Muire. But I think, like, it would be ludicrous to just give you someone's shoelaces together. So I still think a hard success on either stealth or sleight of hand, or unless you could pitch me something else. I'm willing to take a pitch. Well, I just feel like it is that close and that specific in a moment of tension. I love it.
I think you're right. I think it probably is. I think it probably is sleight of hand. I would argue that with all this distraction, that that maybe is a bonus die.
Yeah, or maybe, yeah. Do you know what? Yeah, go on. Let's have a bonus die, because he's really engaged. This is mainly. I'll give you a bonus die for the distraction because of Carraig-Muire's excellent monologuing.
Yeah. So what do you want? Like a hard stealth or a regular sleight of hand, or what do you want?
Pick one of those two.
I mean, actually, I think it's probably the same. So it's sleight of hand, really, isn't it? It's sleight of hand. So let's go.
Yeah.
Regular sleight of hand with a bonus die.
Yeah. I mean, I know you don't have a huge amount in sleight of hand. So.
I have 10.
Yeah. Still a better chance than most.
The bonus die has done it. It's a 0-7. It's a 0-7 on my 10. Or it was going to be a 57 on my regular. I would have spent all my luck if I'd had to.
For you, in this moment, you hear this, like, it just intensifies. And you also hear yourself being mentioned. And you're suddenly aware that the threat level in the room has, like, increased severely. Carraig-Muire seems on the verge of violence, as does this man. But you've sort of got that all happening above you. And you're just meticulously trying to weave these laces together, and you manage it, maybe doing it, rustling the paper, making it look like you're busy, or I don't know how you sort of manage it, blocking it with your head, maybe, like making it look like you're cowering and actually your hands are working away underneath. But either way, you manage it, and I guess you move back slightly. But do you stay on the floor?
I then stand up and step back out of the way of the confrontation between these two. I just take a step.
Okay. As you stand up, he reaches for his baton and swings to try and hit you.
Try and swing to hit me?
Yeah. Because you stand up suddenly next to him.
Okay.
Danann, would it be fair to say that that's simultaneous to the loud banging that was mimed on the door by,
I was about to say, I feel
Dominic
like
Allen as...
we're about to get to that moment, yeah. Your stick.
It's a stout stick.
Not quite a shillelagh, but...
No, but it's got that knobbly end, the kind of slightly wide, throbbing end. I've got that in my hand, to be fair.
And in the other hand, you've got the stick pointed at the...
Aye.
Yeah. And
listen, we all come back from war with very strange habits. That's all I'm saying.
We do. And in that moment, as you're sort of threatening him, and he seems to have said he knows. He seems to be implying, I know what you did last summer. Well, last February, rather.
Almost literally, yeah.
Perregrine McCutcheon sort of backs away, shuffles away from the shoes he successfully somehow tied together. Who knows how thoroughly, but they're tied, and sort of stands up and immediately...
Oh, and I give him the piece of paper that he's asked for.
You hold out the piece of paper, but as he had his jacket swept back and his sort of baton there ready to go, as you stand up, he just pulls it out of his waistband and swings it in a sort of backhand motion towards you.
Can I try and dodge it?
Yes, please do. Oh, I was about to say very Wicker Man, but it just is.
And my dodge is so bad. I'd be better off.
Well, I'm going to make a bid here, keeper of the Oster College Constabulary. Is this a Dex order manoeuvre?
Well, I was wondering whether to go into Dex immediately or after the swipe, and I think...
Is he surprising me?
I think after the swipe is probably reasonable. I'll allow that.
But if you'd like to do a psychology roll at the same time as Perregrine does his dodge roll, I could say that those first two are maybe simultaneous.
I mean, I'll take anything you can give me.
As the door knocks... Yeah.
I'll take a psychology. I mean, unusually for me, that's a pass. 33 on a 39.
Well, in which case I would say that you do see his very wide pupils sort of narrow suddenly as he sort of reaches... his hand's already there, but you see the flicker of a man about to act, which you know very well, obviously. And so when he whips it round, I'd say at that same moment as he's swiping towards Perregrine, you could get a simultaneous action. Perregrine, how did you do on your dodge, just so we know?
Well, I failed my dodge, but obviously I'm going to ask you how you got on with your attack.
Yeah, which I was about to tell you, and that's the last thing I didn't bring through, was my dice.
Yeah, there's always the dice.
That's the classic Danann McAleer manoeuvre of making an attack. A fait accompli.
Yeah.
I admire it, actually.
Oh, no, I do too. It's living with oneself after it. That's the right question. It's the sheer cost to my sleep. I know not the name. It's a surprise attack.
I think that's fair.
So, with his swing at you, hard success.
Okay, yeah, well, you hit me.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
I failed my dodge.
Well, it's a baton, so I'm going to go with small club, I'm afraid, unless anyone thinks that's unfair. So that's 1d6 plus damage bonus. Plus damage bonus.
Oh, God, he's a big guy.
Yeah, he's not small.
I mean, actually, you could potentially kill me.
Okay. Well, just for tension.
After everything you've been through.
Just for tension. Tell me what hit points do you want again?
No, you couldn't kill me. I've just done a bit of
Okay, good.
You could knock me out, but you couldn't kill me.
Carraig-Muire can always do some first aid and saw your head off.
But he does. As Carraig-Muire does whatever we're about to hear, I'm afraid he does in that moment. He does swipe. It's your jaw. He hits your jaw. And you feel your lower jaw sort of almost dislocate. You know, you feel that pain shoot up the side of your head, and that sort of sharp stinging on the side, and it leaves you reeling, leaves you sort of ringing. It's almost like a cartoon. You almost sort of spin round on your toes. You feel a bit like a fucking Looney Tunes character for a moment. Not that that's a reference you'd understand, or anyone would at this point. But Yeah, I don't think you necessarily fall over, but it leaves you stunned for a moment. Carraig-Muire, you sort of saw this attack as it was happening. So I'm going to say that like you're not able to stop his attack because it was so swift, but you're able to do something simultaneously before we sort of go into Dex order officially, if that makes sense.
Right. So I could make my own manoeuvre.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then in which case I will attempt a manoeuvre to disarm him.
Excellent. What are you going to try?
Fantastic. Do I want to attempt to... Since he's already struck, that's pointless. So really it's about containing him and finding out who the hell he is. So I wonder if I'm going to try and pin him.
Oh, interesting. I'll say his arm is outstretched, having sort of...
Yeah, it's all or nothing, that move. And I think in the fraction of a second that I have to decide, I think I bring my stick down on his... Or I try to bring my stick down on his hand, but it is a manoeuvre. I'm trying to disarm him.
Well, what I was going to say is if your instinct was to pin, he sort of left himself open in that all-or-nothing move because his arm is away from his body, if you see what I mean.
Well, you spoke like a super fighter, and unfortunately that's Danann McAleer. Carraig-Muire, he talks a good talk, but actually he's not really a fighter, so I think he's going to try for the disarm. I think he's a bit horrified as well. I mean, he's on the back foot, slightly still.
I mean, you could get in under the armpit.
Don't quite understand why he's attacking us unless he means to just cudgel us both to submission and try and make his way out of here. Seems unusual. So
unusual is a kind term, I'd say. Yeah.
That is a 26 on my brawl. Now, what is his build?
It's in this moment, and you're right. It does it because although the atmosphere has suddenly become threatening, the door has been locked, everything has become quite, the swipe seems almost to be out of nowhere. You think, was he taken by surprise? Because he didn't seem the sort to be taken by surprise. He seemed quite calm up until that moment. But you've seen him clock the Reverend round the jaw, and you hear jolly folk singing coming from the other room. The Amdram has obviously started up again. It's a production of Midsummer Night's Dream. Marjorie, Bjarmia, Potts. You hear, as you knock on the door, you suddenly hear this thwack that sounds very much like a sort of someone being clocked, and you hear sort of just general sort of a moment of just sort of chaotic action, shuffling on the floor and sort of staggering and a sound like someone being assaulted.
Oh, now's my chance. And so I bang on the door some more. It's still locked, right?
Yeah. Apologies for that. It was a mistake. In retrospect.
No, you don't.
No, it's a perfect mistake, though. I love it.
I am also build 1. So there is no penalty die. So my 26 still stands as you're just making your decision outside, Marjorie.
Oh, yes. So you're going for this manoeuvre, right?
Aye.
So is that a regular success?
A regular success? 26 on a 39.
Okay. Well, you manage to pin him. Are you going for a pin then, or like?
No, I was. The instinct was I would disarm him
on his arm, the stick
on the hand, so he has to drop the truncheon.
Well, you've succeeded.
Ha! I say.
Your stick sort of, you move it from his nose as he swings it round. You see his arm extend, and you just adjust, and you just. It's almost like a sort of rapier's tap or a dance mistress's tap down, but you feel a crack on the wrist, just above the wrist, and you hear a little yelp, like one of those things that even big men can't help but make when they have a moment of sharp pain, and you see his truncheon sort of drop from his hand, and it sort of folds towards his chest, and he turns to you in that moment, and. I think it's time to go into Dex order at that point. As the Highland pipes start playing,
Carraig-Muire's theme music comes in.
Yeah,
the door kicks open, the lock comes off its hinge, and the cricket bat just uppercuts him clean out the window. No, maybe
in the most Scottish moment of all, an English cricket bat
destroys all truth. No.
What's everyone's Dex again? I've got a couple of them.
65.
35.
30.
Ah, yes. 65, 35, and 30.
So you two, this fake policeman and Carraig-Muire are both acted, right? So next it's
no.
I guess.
Otherwise, my psychology roll was for a naught.
It's sort of a start on the dex order now, because he had that action and Carraig-Muire got a simultaneous one for his psychology before the round started. Does that work? That's sort of what I was going for. Or does that sound? Is that overly confusing?
Well, that doesn't sound quite right to me, because that means you'd both have another go before Dom and I even get to act.
That's because we're fast.
Well, that just lets you go first. That doesn't let you have 2 goes before we can do anything.
Unless it was a surprise round.
Oh, well, it was a surprise round, but what does that mean?
In my head, it was because, like, I let you dodge, but it was basically a surprise that he did that, and the psychology gave Carraig-Muire the heads up that he was about to, so he got a simultaneous action, and then we went into dex order, which I know feels like... I don't know, I know what you mean, though. Now that you've said it, I do feel like...
I mean...
But surely, a surprise just puts you at the front of the dex order. It doesn't mean you get to go at the front of the dex order and then go again, does it?
Yeah, no, it does, yeah.
Means you get to go again?
Yeah, if you get a surprise round, yeah.
So if you've got the highest dex and you do a surprise attack, you get to go twice in quick succession?
Essentially.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. All right. You did. I sort of get your logic, though, because it did start making me think that does seem unrealistic in a fight. But
if he succeeded on his psychology, I don't know what happens, because then that sort of annuls the element of surprise. So I don't know.
I've muddied things, and I should have more than the basic combat rules up.
Well, I joined him in the surprise, I suppose, is what he's saying. I mean, I appreciate you for honouring my psychological pass. We also were generous to, I mean, like a cruel GM would have said, no, you don't even get a chance to dodge because you don't see it coming. But you gave him a dodge, so we've had like a mini round, another real round starts. I'm game for that. But patience...
Let's see what the big Tomo Facts says.
Here we go, look. When someone states they are making a sudden, unexpected attack, they should have the opportunity to surprise their opponent. If the keeper were to automatically switch to combat rounds, the person who declared the first attack may end up acting last, which would make no narrative sense.
Yes, that's very true.
The keeper may allow a skill roll to determine if the target anticipates the attack, using listen or spot hidden or psychology.
So I did a psychology for Carraig-Muire, but I just gave you a dodge, so technically I...
Yes, if the target anticipates the attack, they may choose to dodge or fight back. Fine.
But only if you'd anticipated it.
Yeah, and I only gave Carraig-Muire technically the chance to anticipate it. I think I gave you the chance to dodge, so that is on me.
Here we go. Combat flowchart. Establish the order of attack. Rank index order. Highest goes first. Surprise attack. Allow skill roll. Does the target anticipate the attack? Spot hidden, listen, psychology. Yes. Use normal dex order for combat. No. Attack automatically hits or gains bonus die. And then resolve in dex order.
I mean, let's go with Dan's suggestion. I don't know, I'm doing the voice still. Let's go with Dan's suggestion then, and we'll say that you jumped up the pecking order by doing the surprise, because you were 60 dexterity.
Yeah.
But you got the drop, so you went first. He dodged, which he's allowed to do anyway.
Yeah.
And am I right in saying that doesn't take your action away?
No, because that's my response to his attack. Yeah, that's the response
to the attack. And so then it sort of goes back into the dexterity order, so I was next. And now it goes to these two. In which case my psychology gave me nothing.
Oh, that is harsh.
But it means that I knew that he meant to attack.
But you see, he wasn't attacking you. That's why he
wasn't attacking me.
Yeah. So technically your psychology could have potentially stopped him attacking me, but it didn't.
Because we'd already said that it had happened. So let's do that then.
Have I overcomplicated that?
No. Well, no, I think I've undercomplicated it and you've retconned that, which is a better way of doing it, probably. So are we saying, so the attack has not happened, we're going back to the original...
No, let's say that the attack's happened, I've disarmed him, that's my turn, it's these two's turn.
Those of attacks happened, you've defended, Dom's next.
Okay, great, yeah. Okay, that does make sense to me, yeah. So he is still suddenly grasping his arm to his chest in pain after this sort of yelp of pain. And he sort of turns to Carraig-Muire, who's just hit him. But then it's Well, it's Bjarmia's turn, but she's still outside a locked door. So, I mean,
she does.
You hear another thwack.
I think I'm panic. Yeah, I'm panicking now that this guy's locked the door and is killing them. So I'm going to body check the door, and I'm going to try and smash it open.
Okay, excellent.
The full force of the British Empire.
What do you?
The blue fury of Bjarmia pods.
What do you want? Strength?
I think strength. Yeah, I mean, what else can you?
If this was teeth, you would definitely have a special ability, wouldn't you? Whereby if you sacrificed one, whatever the fuck it was, you'd be able to take on large wooden objects by using your bosom alone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sacrifice one polecat.
Yeah. To smash down one door.
I've rolled a 41 on my 40, so I'm going to sacrifice 1 luck.
legendary.
Take that, teeth. We've got sacrifices too. Love teeth. Love teeth. Love you guys.
Bosh!
You're great. Lovely. I mean, you know your own door. You know whether. You don't like.
You know your own door.
You know your own door, love. But
I've locked myself out before.
exactly.
I know the weak points.
It cuts down to the Oster carpenter who raises his hoary old 80-year-old head and goes.
There she goes again.
There she goes again.
There she blows. Usually, obviously, you just throw an undergraduate through it, but there's nothing happening.
And then fuck him.
So you
Looks like we need another couple of hinges, Philip.
Philip? Oh, he's dead. And yeah, but you shoulder through at the lock, and it sort of smacks open, and you're confronted with the scene. As you sort of barrel forwards, Perregrine, I think it's yeah. As you hear that,
I'm clutching my jaw, but I think I just try and I just kind of try and barge into him to knock him over, knowing
his weakness,
knowing that his shoelaces are hopefully tied.
yes.
So I just try and barrel into him, which I guess is a maneuver.
I mean, I would. It's tricky, isn't it? Because I think barreling into someone is not harder than like punching someone. It's easier technically. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm feeling that that's not too generous. I'm feeling like to go with like a regular
brawl.
I think you'll find if the intention is you're not trying to cause damage, then you are trying a manoeuvre.
I think you might be right, but
Since we've been entirely interrupted in this dance already, I will descend from my pedantry and eating my pedant's nuts.
Fair enough.
he gets down off the ladder.
You know, since some of us have already been cost of successes once already,
It takes ages.
what builds Peregrine McCutcheon, then he might want to reconsider his action, because I support him entirely because he's my teammate and I don't want him to...
Richard Gere there in the audience.
Okay. Right, I reconsider that.
I don't want him to make a mistake, because build one gives you a penalty die, dude.
Does it?
Oh shit! Yeah, no, you are right. Actually, you are right. So because of that, let's go manoeuvre.
He'll be hard if you're not the same size as him to knock him down.
Oh, you'll build 0, I imagine, right?
I'm build 0 indeed.
Indeed. But in word?
But his shoelaces are tied together.
Yes.
So if my manoeuvre was to push him over under normal circumstances,
Yeah.
I would succeed with a success, right?
With a penalty die.
We lose the penalty die, definitely.
That's interpreted by the GM.
I would say we lose the penalty die for sure, because otherwise, what was the point of the shoe tying?
Well, quite.
Well, the point is that he goes straight over, right?
Okay, in which case, I changed my mind.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
I'm not going to attack him at all. I am going to...
Oh, now I see what you mean.
Yeah. The cancellation of
Well, yeah, it would have to have some kind of negative effect. Maybe he can't dodge successfully, or he can't strike back successfully, or maybe he can't. Maybe he goes down because you don't get the. Maybe he loses the penalty die. I love it.
Well, that's what I was going to suggest.
It's a simpler version. I think, like, more truthful would be like he doesn't roll as well himself. But I think, yeah, let's go with that for this, just because you remarkably succeeded somehow on tying his shoelaces.
That is true.
And they might not be that secure, but you know you've got an advantage there. So for his build, also there's the whole thing of like the heavier you are, the harder you fall. But
I wonder whether I'm this is a mistake, and I wonder whether I should not try and push him over, but just get out of the way and let him fuck himself up.
In order to stay awake, Dominic has taken to doing calisthenics in the back. He's currently doing some stretches.
I'm actually doing dancercises.
Dancercise.
Sorry, in Bjarmia's voice, please.
Dancercising?
No, so I'm not going to try and push him over. I'm just going to, because I think he's kind of knocked me over with this. Like
he's really properly clocked you, and your eyes are spinning a bit.
So I'm just going to stand up and draw my little pocket knife, and I'm not going to approach him at all. I'm just going to ready my pocket knife.
So the equivalent of an aim with a tiny pruning knife. Okay, great. I mean, he wasn't looking at you anyway. He sort of clocked you, staggered a bit, and looked on Carraig-Muire. So I'd say you're able to just do that.
Yeah.
So we're back to the top of the round, right?
Yeah.
So, Henry, I think you're up, right? First to bat.
And I've got the reinforcements. She's in now, wielding a cricket bat, like a ship in sail.
Swinging it around her head like the
Lucifucking-tania.
Lazy old Susan.
Now,
How about you?
I think so. I've swung down. Swack. He's dropped it. I see this readying by McCutcheon, and I think, hang on a second. He looks a wee bit unsteady on his feet.
I think maybe I point my knife at
him. And I see McCutcheon point, and I think a hearty swing across the scalp like a golf swing.
Love it.
Should do it, so I'll just hit him.
Yeah.
And of course I'll hit him over, and this is where it'll come into play, right? Because instead of just causing damage, it'll also leave him prone, right, Danann?
Oh, right.
31 on a 39. I'm as surprised as you are. That's 3 passes. I hit him. But of course he can try to dodge, but can he? Because his feet are tied together.
Well, he's probably got a penalty die because his feet are tied together, right?
Right? Nice. I'll leave it to the master. The McAleer.
He's got a penalty die.
Yes.
I mean, there's no fucking point otherwise, right? Let's be honest. But he does it because he does try to, take one back, and it's like in that moment, that sort of tension where he feels suddenly for a moment like he's stuck in mud, and he's not quite sure. It's like, you can see that look in his eyes, the sort of flash of fuck, my foot's caught on something, without realising it is his foot that it's caught on, and you see that sort of momentary sort of tension, and then he steps back forwards straight into your swing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because he did not do well there.
He could still dodge.
So, would you like to roll damage?
So that's 1d6 plus 2, is it?
Yeah. Well, you're using your stick, right?
Yeah. No, not. Is that what you said? No, 1d6 plus damage bonus, is it?
Damage bonus.
Oh, shit. Ooh.
What's happened?
Ooh, that's quite a lot of damage. Ooh. Okay.
You started to question whether or not you'll be able to interrogate him afterwards?
Yeah. I don't know. I think he'll be fine, but that's a major wound as far as I'm concerned. So I've caused 9 damage.
Holy fuck.
Wow.
I'm really sorry.
Jesus Christ.
It's a 6 and a 3.
Wow. Okay. Oh, fucking hell. Okay, so he has this moment of juggling, and you see Perregrine sort of pointing with his knife to the feet. You clock that, you look up, you swing, and at the moment where he sort of tries to correct himself and tips forwards, your stick just connects with his temple, and you see this spray. I think this sort of spray of blood, and it's like his head almost turns him round, and he collapses bodily. He sort of lands on his shoulder, and he's there on the floor. He knocks over the little, the coffee table that the ashtray's on, and the whiskey glass was on, and he's just sort of you just see him there like a sort of, like the fish in Baytown, sort of chucked on the side, sort of as if he's gasping for air, his eyes sort of blinking open and open. You can just see, in that moment, he's completely sort of incapacitated for a second. I mean, technically it's his turn, but...
Well, he'll have some hit points left.
Well, he does. But, I mean, you've fucking taken a shitload out of him with that one swing. Jesus Christ. Blackthorn indeed.
Major wound. Does he have to make a constitution check?
I think he does, doesn't he? In which case...
Unless he has more than 18 hit points, of course.
That would make him a mythos entity.
He's not. He's not a supernatural entity, luckily. Well,
if he falls unconscious, we should toss him out the window.
Okay, well, he's rolled a 14 on that.
So he's very much active.
He's active, and you see his eyes as he's on the floor. Like, you see that moment of, like, the fish out of water, but in the same way that a fish's body can flip, you know, it's like their spine just spasms.
How much like a fish is he?
Sorry? Very like a fish. In fact, as you think that. No. But in that same way, you know, that thing is, you think they're dead, and you can almost, like, start cutting into them, and suddenly they spasm into life. He's sort of like, it's like he hooks his hand up, and he just tries to swipe at you with the whiskey glass that's right next to him. At you, Carraig-Muire.
Oh, me?
Carraig-Muire.
Oh,
Carraig-Muire. It sounded like Perregrine Muir.
At you, Carraig-Muire.
Aye.
Oh, that's a... Yeah, okay, so that's a hard success.
I'll have to try and dodge.
It's like you just see him in that moment, it's like you think he's out, and then he just bucks, and just like...
Although, do you think statistically my chances of fighting back might be better? Because he's lost 9 hit points. I don't really want to kill him.
Sure. Also, it's only a tumbler he's got in his hand. It's not like a...
I'm in a lot of trouble. Already, so I think it is a dodge. I'll try a dodge. It's only 2 points of difference on the skill set.
Okay.
I cannot do it. That's 49. Too rich for my blood.
Fine. So as that happens, you well, I'm going to say with the whiskey glass, it's not much, but I'm just going to say it's still a 1d3.
Well, that's an improvised weapon. That's a d4. Cutting edge, impaling.
It is impaling. Okay. Well, thanks for arguing your own fate. And he...
They're the rules. I'm not arguing the fate.
Plus... okay, so that's a 3.
What was that? Oh, God, Christ, we've been lucky with his damage rolls, haven't we? I'm lucky with mine.
He sort of, it's a panicked action. He sort of, his arm arcs back and it hits him. He's on the floor, so it hits you in the leg. It's like on the side of the knee, but it does pierce through the tweed, and you're suddenly really worried. You remember that injury from the Sudan. You remember someone's femoral being cut by something quite, you know. I
have a weird memory of when Perregrine was telling me about his friend Ned Caster and his obsession with his leg, how he got it cut and infected.
Gorse, wasn't it?
And there's something about the way it cuts through the tweed. I think, oh God, no. Not like Caster.
So you sort of, you feel the sharp pain just stab into the side of your knee.
Sons of Midlothian!
And you see him, he's sort of on his back still, but he's trying to get up, and he's got this half-smashed whiskey glass in his hand still. And you can see his pupils getting wider again. He seems to be focusing again. He seems to be, maybe in a moment of panic, realising how on the verge he is. But I think then we go to Bjarmia, right?
So I've burst through the door.
Yeah, you burst through the door, barreled in. I'd say you're probably... How big are your rooms? I'd say you're probably within striking distance already.
Yes, I think the momentum will carry me through.
Unless you think you stopped, but I...
Forward defensive?
No, not at all. I go straight for the bounder.
Excellent.
Where is he? Is he still stood up?
No, he's on his back.
Fantastic.
We've just seen him smash a whiskey glass off Carraig-Muire's knee, and Carraig-Muire sort of reel back slightly in pain.
Yelping in pain, I think.
Yeah.
Whack! I just bring the cricket bat straight down on top of his face.
Oh my God.
Fuck me.
As hard as I can.